Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Shameless in Chicago. This is your host, Nin.
And I'm Luke, and we're here with a very special guest today.
Almighty Airman. What's up, everybody? I'm glad to be back on the podcast again.
Hello, Almighty.
Yeah, we're happy to have you back.
No, one thing that I noticed is that when you're on the podcast, we have more listeners.
Oh, okay. So we get some of the Almighty fans checking us out.
I guess so, yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, glad to have you guys.
All right, guys, we have a funny story for you today.
Yes, we went to Costco and we witnessed something I would honestly say is otherworldly.
No, honestly, guys, it was so funny. Almighty is literally laughing right now. We were at Costco and we were sitting in their cafe area and we were eating, pizza and hot dog and
A little bit of Sundays.
Very nutritious dinner, by the way.
so nutritious, honestly. But there was this couple, they were probably in their younger 20s, and they pop up with the whole Costco rotisserie chicken, and they just plop it on the table.
And, I think the most egregious part for me was the lack of utensils.
Yes, they were just using their hands to pick this chicken apart.
No, literally. And I was like, okay, usually when I buy a rotisserie chicken, I go home, I make a salad, I make rice with it because, it's a whole meal. They were eating it like they were at Buffalo Wild Wing.
It looked like a scene out of a zombie movie for me.
No, guys, it was hilarious. And mind you, Armand and Luke are facing towards me and I am facing the couple. And Luke...
I am too old for subtlety. We are too old to be playing these games.
We're only 26.
If I want to see something weird in public, I'm going to look.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pop my head right around. Don't tell me where something is if you don't want me to look at it, because I'm going to look.
No, literally. And you have Almighty here, and he's like, I'm going to act like I'm cracking my back to look.
And meanwhile, Luke just turns around and he just looks at them like,
howdy, partners.
Hello, everybody.
No, he literally didn't even try to not make it obvious. So I'm sitting here watching this couple and I'm telling them what's going on. And they start ripping apart this chicken with their bare fingers. And I know damn well they did not wash their hands beforehand.
No, they definitely didn't.
Oh, no.
No, so they got it. And I saw them ripping apart the leg. But then get this.
What happened?
He ripped the back off.
So it really was like a zombie movie. Like he totally ripped it apart.
I swear he took blowing out its back to a whole nother level.
Oh, man. To be a chicken, am I right?
Oh, my God.
He was probably looking at his lady. He's like, this is what's going to happen to you tonight.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Do you think maybe when we walked
away?
away, they were like, did you see those guys staring at us?
You know what? I don't think they did because we were in that Costco for a while.
Yeah.
We went shopping.
We walked around.
We were walking around for like a solid half an hour.
And when we walked out, and then what did you see?
So they were still there. They had discarded the chicken. They had tossed it to the side,
Was it,
Was it still on the table?
Yeah, it was still on the table.
did they eat all of it?
Wait, but can we get that Almighty lyrics quoted? Tender thoughts? If she's a bad bitch, I'm going to have to pass. What is the lyric?
If she's a fat bitch, well, my friend, I'm going to have to pass.
Yeah, they just pass it to the side. They're like, all right.
These people weren't big, though.
No.
They were very skinny.
No, the chicken was the fatty.
The chicken was the fatty, yes.
We all know those Costco chickens are nice and plump.
Full of steroids and ready to go.
Oh, they are terrible for you.
Yeah, I've been hearing that
Rotisserie
lately.
chicken is so bad for you.
I
Are you
know.
guys shocked it sits there all day just spinning around?
Well, yes, it sits there all day, but they also add a ton of different preservatives to it in order to keep it that quote-unquote fresh.
To me, it tastes like an F tier. I won't lie. Rotisserie chicken,
Listen, I
never been
used
on the
to-
menu for me.
Really?
Never.
I
used
love
to-
a rotisserie chicken.
Same. I used to love rotisserie chicken, but then
Yeah.
I started hearing about more and more how it's not good for you.
Yeah.
And from that point forward, I said, I'm not going to eat rotisserie chicken.
So do they sell rotisserie chicken at the Costco cafe or did they have to
No, it's at the back of the
The deli.
store.
So
Yeah.
they literally went all the way in the back.
Yeah.
Picked up a whole chicken.
Yeah.
Took it all the way to the front.
Mm-hmm.
Ate 3/4 of it.
Yeah.
Got pizza.
Yep.
And beyond that, they probably could have gotten a whole other feast.
No, exactly. They were having a Thanksgiving meal just at the Costco.
Right. I'm surprised they didn't buy a pumpkin pie.
Oh my
Listen,
gosh.
listen,
Why
listen.
didn't we do that?
Because that's not against the rules. You can eat a whole pumpkin pie in public and not be branded a serial killer. But if you're eating it listen, hear me out, okay? So listen, pumpkin pie, baked, cream, filling, whatever, from the ground, rotisserie chicken, tear apart the carcass, chew on the bones, leave the dead body out on the... What's really weird here?
No, yeah, true facts.
Yeah, I agree.
Eat your pumpkin pie in public.
Eat your pumpkin pie in public. They also had sushi at that Costco too. So if you're buying that big thing of sushi, eat your sushi in public.
Oh my God, they could have had sushi and chicken and pizza.
Grocery store.
That sounds
sushi.
terrible.
That's just dubious.
Yeah, no.
Why would you eat those three? I mean, I understand pizza and chicken in the same meal, but sushi and pizza in the same meal? No.
You guys ever have salsa and ice cream before?
Ew.
Cookie dough ice cream, hot salsa chunky
Cookie dough ice cream, yes.
Ew.
with salsa.
That's disgusting.
No,
No.
but listen. It's the flavor profile. We just ate pizza and sundaes. Wasn't it delicious?
It was delicious, and I would dip the pizza inside the sundae.
Okay, so what's the difference between a salsa and an ice cream?
Because salsa's spicy, ice cream is sweet.
You can have a mild salsa. They make salsa for white people.
Okay, but that's the thing. It's not salty and sweet goes together. Everyone knows this.
Yeah, why do you think people dip their French fries at like Wendy's when they dip them inside the Frosty?
You guys
Oh.
have never had sweet and spicy?
No.
Never.
Actually, no, that's a lie because I have the Mexican candy, the mango one.
Yeah, they're covered in chili powder.
Yeah, they're delicious.
So anyways, there's my case.
Yeah, those are really good.
Oh my gosh. Moving on. We digress.
Yes, there are just some things, some boundaries we don't pass in public. That's why we don't talk to people eating at cafes.
Yeah. Yeah. What are some boundaries you maintain?
I feel like my boundaries vary from person to person. I am in respect a lot like China. You have a social credit score with me.
Is that a real thing?
I remember being talked about, but I don't know if that was propaganda or not.
Oh, okay.
I definitely think that I have a social credit score. There are certain people who will ask me, hey, I need a little help. Can you help me out? And I'll say, sure, I know you're good. I know I won't be looking for you for anything. And then there's just some people that you slowly inch away from because you realize that, there's just way too much here. I definitely think if you are going to impact my life negatively in terms of my other relationships, my family, my cat, that's right. You need to set up my little wall.
Yeah. Yeah. So you set boundaries with those people in what way and how do you maintain them?
You have to be very firm. There are times in which people ask me to, go out and extend my social battery, and I have to be very firm. I have to say, no, I can't really do that right now because if I do, no one's going to have a good time because I'm going to sit there miserable. And then there are other times where you have to concede a little bit because sometimes, like with your friends, your boundaries are going to be pushed. You're going to be asked to go to dinners. You're going to be asked to be put in unfamiliar situations. So you really have to make sure that you're fluid with your boundaries. I feel like a little bit of fluidity goes a long way. You have to have your hard stops.
Yeah.
But I can't be a hard ass and say, no, I'm not doing this because it's against my moral code.
Yeah. And what about you, Armand? How was setting and maintaining boundaries for you?
So setting and maintaining boundaries, there's a few ways that I can do it. A few ways that I do it personally in my life is with my job. I set boundaries,
Yeah.
especially with my coworkers. So I'll have my coworkers ask me to do things for them that they can handle perfectly fine, but they just don't want to do the work and they just send it over to me. Or if it's something I know that I'm not comfortable doing, I tell them straight up like, no, I'm not going to do this. What kind of bugs me about boundaries is some people just don't get the concept of them.
Yeah.
So when you say you're not going to do something or no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do like whatever, they just get so upset about it.
I have a better question for you guys. How do you enforce your boundaries with your family? Do you have boundaries with your family members?
I do.
I do
so setting my boundaries with my family was like the first thing that I had to do and was also the hardest thing that I had to do. So with my family being the eldest daughter, in Middle Eastern households, the eldest daughter is always looked as the one who essentially carries the household. Like that's essentially what the eldest daughter does. And so I had to help my parents out with things and I had to help my sister out with things. I had to really carve out the path for her. And if my sister ever had a question about how to do certain things, and if she asked my parents, they would be like, ask your sister. Like it would always be brought back to me. And it's not uncommon for that, But eventually it just got really too much on me, where my parents were asking me, hey, can you do this? Can you show us how to do this? Can you do this? Blah, blah, blah. And my sister would ask me the same thing. Hey, can you do this? Can you help me with this? Can you show me with this? I got to a point where I was like, enough. Like, enough's enough. Like, figure it out yourselves. Like, when I was growing up, my dad would always say, what is the difference between you and the person next to you? There's absolutely nothing different between you and the person next to you. God gave you both a brain. It depends on how you decide to use it. That's essentially what I told everyone around me. I said, God gave you a brain. Use it. Like, you have to use it. As I set those boundaries and just said no, because I was tired of it, I was just getting angry, people started figuring things out themselves.
It's kind of like you can teach a man to fish, feed himself.
Yeah.
But you didn't feel like teaching anyone.
No, I was tired of it, because you can tell somebody how to do something, but they never learn, until they're put in a situation where, okay, well, I have resources. Oh, that exists. Maybe I should ask my resources,
YouTube is a really big learning tool too.
Yeah,
you can learn how to change your oil. You can learn how to do your taxes. You can learn how to edit entire movies on YouTube.
Yep. You can learn so much on YouTube. It's incredible. Setting those boundaries is really important, and you have to know what those boundaries are. I taught my clients a lot. What is something you don't enjoy doing for other people?
Working.
I'm on that boat too, working.
I think a lot of people don't enjoy working. But what is something else you don't enjoy doing for other people?
Other people's work.
Other
Same
people's
thing,
work.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm such a people pleaser. Honestly, like I'm like, there's not.
You got to get out of that
thing.
mindset. Like, I don't want to piss off the boss. I don't want to piss off.
I don't even
management.
think it's that. It's just I think about it. I'm like, in the grand scheme of things, doing this one little task is not gonna kill me, and will just maybe.
But it's always one little task, and then it snowballs.
Yeah, it's you give
Yep.
you give a mouse a cookie, right?
Yeah.
To give a mouse a cookie, exactly.
And the wise words of Lil Wayne, if you give a bitch an inch, she'll take a mile.
Exactly.
Lil Wayne was not a mile long. I'll tell you that.
Exactly.
But I definitely do think when presented like in a professional sense, I definitely tend to say I can take on a lot more than I can, and then I stress myself out about it. That's something I hate, and I put myself in that situation. I'll say, oh, I can do this. I've never had any training on invoicing, but yeah, give me a piece of paper and I'll try it out.
Yeah, and that's really important too. Like working in mental health, my supervisor would be like, oh, hey, Nin, can you do this, this, and this? And I'd be like, yeah. And then she would talk to me a week later. Hey, Nin, did you do this? She would be like, why not? And I'm like, I've just been so busy with clients. And then she'd be like, you can say no if I give you tasks that are too much. And I was like, yeah, I'm not used to that yet. And she's like, you have to set those boundaries. And I was like, oh, dang, you're right. So I ended up setting those boundaries eventually.
Very nice.
And then she quit her job.
Doesn't Dolly Parton have a whole song, 9 to 5? She quits it. She hates it.
Working 9 to 5. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But that whole thing of the 9 to 5s, I truly believe people are getting tired of them is because they're not providing the same income, the same quality of life that they once were.
They were also implemented by a man who helped support the Nazis.
Oh, yeah.
Henry Ford.
Yeah. And
really?
Yeah.
Henry Ford designed the 9 to 5 work week to ensure the top performance of his factories. And Henry Ford also supplied the Germans with Model Ts and tanks.
So we have the 9 to 5 work week because of Henry Ford.
I'd say because of Hitler.
Well, the 9 to 5 is also because back then people would work countless days, countless hours. And today, with modern technology, with the efficiency that we have today, there's absolutely no reason somebody needs to work.
No, just stick to the 4-day work week.
Nobody needs to work
3.
8 to 9 hours. No, exactly. I truly believe in a 3-day work week. There's no reason to. Because if somebody needs something, just email, call back, text.
And everyone can alternate. It's not like
It's
everyone
so
has to
easy.
work the same days.
Right, exactly. And I think that's what's lost is that we think that everyone has to work Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. No. I can work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 to 2. All right. And then the next person can work from 2 to 7. And then there you go, like rotate the days.
And think about how much the economy would be booming if 2/3 of the American population were out there spending their money while the other third did the working. And then after a certain amount of hours, the other third goes to work and that other third goes out and they spend their money.
That's
Right.
literally what we were talking about, is that how do malls and how do stores make money if between the hours of 9 to 5 they're open, but also what's open is these businesses and nobody can shop. Everyone's at work. And that's why malls are super dead. Then you see Saturday and Sunday, this influx of people, but people don't even want to go on Saturday, Sunday because they're just too full, too busy.
And who's going to go shopping on a 30-minute lunch break? It takes me more than an hour to get to the mall.
Especially with Black Friday and Christmas coming up.
Bro, sometimes it can take you 10 minutes just to find parking.
If even that.
If you find it.
No, exactly. And so, I mean, I'm just a girl on a podcast, but the thing is that they are so stuck in these ways is that in reality, it's hurting our people, it's hurting our economy rather than benefiting it.
It's hurting everybody's mental health.
It really is.
And it's just plain old rude.
It really is.
It is.
It is.
It's almost like some people are addicted to working.
They are, honestly.
Oh my gosh. I 100% agree with that.
But with being addicted to working, like people get addicted to other things to kind of ease their anxieties or I don't know. Like, what do people have addicted to? Like, for example, smoking is an addictive habit that people use. Like, smoke breaks used to be so popular, right? I'm going to go out for a smoke break because they needed that to kind of like ease their anxiety, give them something to do.
They still do that.
I used to be a heavy smoker. I was the worst smoker from my younger years. I would say early high school ages, up until my 20s. I was a smoker. I would be a pack-a-day smoker. I switched from Newports to Marlboro to the Crushes to Camel Crushes to 27s. I loved all cigarettes. So I was a very heavy smoker. At some points, it would kind of fluctuate between smoking cigarettes, vaping, a combo of the two. So my car smelled like a fruity cigarette.
I remember, yeah.
It's a really hard habit to kick. I remember growing up, almost everyone in my family, aside from my father, smoked cigarettes. I was surrounded by the smell of cigarettes. It smells like home to me still to this day.
I agree.
Depending on the cigarette, I think, at this point, because some people's cigarettes just smell way too weird.
I agree.
Love those funny ones, but not those funny ones, you know? I thought smoking would be natural. There would be even points in my younger life where I would unfold my mother's crushed cigarettes from the ashtray because she smoked unfiltered Capris.
Oh.
And that's what I would kind of start off with.
Mm-hmm.
As I grew older, there'd be the gas stations you learned that would sell to you. You'd be having the friends that were okay buying for you, and you got into a rhythm of really getting your smoke on.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're young, you don't really know portion control.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I think at one point, I was 15, I had smoked, I think, 2 packs of cigarettes in a night because I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to. I was going to do it with my friends. I was so sick.
Yeah.
I got so sick. I threw up that day. And over the years, it really crippled me. I could feel that it was winding me when I would walk upstairs. I couldn't run. I was always motivated to work out when I was a smoker, but my lungs would never let me do it.
Mm-hmm.
I had constant phlegm. I had a bad cough. I would throw up in the mornings. Smoking was honestly one of the worst things that I think ever happened to me. And at some point, I switched to just vaping, which I thought for a little while would be more beneficial for me. In the long run, it's really just a better smelling option.
Yeah, it really is.
It still gives you your dry mouth, so you'll have your bad breath after it. It's going to get all the fog inside of your car windows, and it's going to be really hard to clean off.
So you went from smoking cigarettes to vaping to then a combination of the both?
Yes, because I started vaping at 16. That's when
Okay.
the stores started to open up, and we had these big things we called box mods.
Okay.
And we had these things called RDAs on top of them, and we drip vape juice on them, and we would blow out these giant
remember
clouds.
this.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And we thought we were the coolest.
Yeah.
16-year-olds going to vape shops with these big cloud makers. It was almost like a status thing because everyone that you wanted to hang around with had a vape, and if you didn't have a vape, someone would be like, can I hit your vape?
Yeah, and you
And-
wanted
Yeah.
the biggest cloud.
I wanted the biggest cloud. I went so far with those vapes. I had a LED light put into the RDA and had a clear cap on it so I could show 7 different colors while I was vaping, not even close to wondering if this thing was going to explode in my face because back then those things blew up left and right. So when I had met my boyfriend, I was just vaping and he was a smoker.
Oh.
I told him I don't kiss smokers.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to practice what I preach, you know. I told him I don't kiss smokers, and he was actually very, very forthright. He did not smoke when I was coming over. Gradually, I think our first Christmas together, I bought him a vape because I told him I was tired of smoking cigarettes, so we could just vape together. And so he took to it very quickly, to my knowledge. He's never smoked another cigarette. He's really just hit that vape, which I do think is still a good step. Further down the line in our relationship, he took a trip to Mexico with his family, and around that time was when I had decided I was going to quit vaping.
Okay.
And I had, at that point, I was only vaping when I saw him. I was like, oh, let me hit your vape. I want to hit your vape because it's my little treat. I get to see you. You're my nicotine addiction. And I expected that back when he came back. And I was told that I was not allowed to hit the nicotine vape because I had been doing so well that there was no reason for me to break the whole week streak we had while he was on vacation with his family.
Oh, so that entire week you hadn't smoked
That
nicotine.
entire week, I was not smoking nicotine, and I was actually so excited to see him again because I really wanted to hit that vape. And that's kind of the thought you have when you go, oh, that's a little messed up that I want to see a vape more than my boyfriend.
Yeah, that's very true. When the
is.
addiction becomes really addictive.
So I decided to kick the vape. I did use a crutch. I actually started chewing nicotine gum.
Oh, wow.
Nicorette. I tried the first time. I think it was a 4 or 6 milligram, which I was like, that can't be strong enough. I'm smoking 50 milligram nicotine salts. So already right there, I'm thinking, losing battle, but you're supposed to wean yourself. So I chewed the gum and I chew it, and it's not working for me. I'm chewing it at work and I'm complaining to my boss, and my boss tells me, well, you're not chewing it right. How the frick am I supposed to chew gum? So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to chew it a little bit. You're supposed to chew it a little bit, just a little bit. And you're supposed to park it between your cheek and your gums.
Okay.
And in that, the nicotine will be absorbed through your saliva, through your bloodstream, just through contact with the inside of your skin. And it worked.
Oh, wow.
And I thought that was the most amazing thing ever. I think I took 2 a day, one at work and one at home. And as I went on, I only needed them when I was at work because, work is our main stressor, of course.
Oh, wow.
I actually told my boss this. I don't know why I did because I knew exactly what was coming. I said, yeah, I leave my nicotine gum here at the office. I don't really feel that I need it at home. My boss says to me, don't you think that's kind of fucked up? Yeah, I do, but hey, man, that's not my problem anymore. And I think I want to say since June 2021, I have not had any nicotine whatsoever unless it was in the form of a hookah or I ate a tomato.
Oh, wow. So you haven't even had the Nicorette?
I have not even had the gum. I don't even chew the gum. I don't think that there's any reason for me to reintroduce that substance into my body.
Yeah.
After I've eradicated it. The hookah smoking is as far as I'll go. Even I think it's a little bit of cheating, but I mean, we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time.
Do you do the hookah only in social settings or do you do it independently?
I will never smoke a hookah independently on my own. I do not think that would be healthy for me because smoking it with 2 other people is not healthy. Smoking it with just myself would be super unhealthy.
Yeah. So you've successfully been able to kick that addictive substance from you.
I am, and I am very glad because I did grow up, hearing a lot in my family that we have the addictive tendency, addictive gene and whatnot. And it is something that I saw with my own eyes growing up, and I still do see to this day.
Yeah.
Addiction is a horrible thing and will ruin lives. I'm glad that my addiction was something like a nicotine addiction, but it gives me a little hope, and it shows that you can probably quit anything or you can do anything that you set your mind to.
No, that's honestly so true because for me personally, as you guys heard in our previous episodes, I had a Coca-Cola addiction. I was so into Coca-Cola and I still am to this day. Like I love Coca-Cola. Like if they ever sponsor me, like hit me up. But I was drinking large McDonald's Cokes at least like 2 or 3 times a week. And during college, I was getting the big gulps at least every day that I was at school. So for me, that was about 4 days a week. So I've been slowly trying to kick my Coca-Cola addiction. Coca-Cola has just been a thing that I've just been loving. It's become a treat for myself. It's definitely my vice, and that's my addictive thing. So I was consuming large Cokes for a really long time from McDonald's. And
You were consuming large amounts of Coke?
no.
Okay.
Coca-Cola, okay? I was consuming large amounts of Coca-Cola, and I started noticing that I was gaining weight, And people say like, oh, you're going to gain weight. And I was like, okay, cool. But then one of my friends said that drinking excess cola made his face greasy. And that I noticed. And as somebody who used to deal with acne when she was younger, that was definitely not something that I wanted to deal with. I started to recognize that maybe a large Coke is a little too much for somebody.
Have you seen what that Coke does to like porcelain? How it cleans?
If you think about it, baking soda does the same thing, but nobody tells you, oh, baking soda is bad for you.
Fair. We brush our teeth with it. I retract my statement.
Exactly. So there's a lot of things that can be used for alternatives. I challenged myself to bring it down to a medium Coke from McDonald's. I was like, okay, I'm aware I'm going to wean myself off. This is the one time I used my psychology textbooks and I was like, we're not withdrawing completely. We're going to slowly come off of it. And I was getting medium Cokes. I'll be honest, the first couple of times I was slurping that Coca-Cola up like no tomorrow. I was finishing them so quickly. And then slowly over time, I was like, oh, I really just want a large. But I was like, no, you're going to get used to this. Eventually, I got used to a medium. That it was taking me the same amount of time that it used to take me to finish a large. So it was taking me some time. And then recently when I went and did my trip to Iraq and I saw how tiny their Coca-Colas were. They were so small. And then I went to Dubai and theirs were also small. And then I went to Italy and theirs were also small. And I was like, wow, we're really gluttonous in America. I recognized that even my medium Coca-Cola from McDonald's was way too big.
I think our smalls are still maybe a little too big sometimes.
They are. They really are. So now I've transitioned to a small Coca-Cola.
Yay!
I know. I'm
just
so
a little
proud.
Coke.
Just a little one. Just a small one. And although that might still be too much for some people in some countries, it's good enough for me. And I'm at a point where I'm happy and I'm slowly kicking that Coca-Cola behavior, but it's going to go away eventually.
That's awesome to hear. I had a few addictions of mine that I kicked recently too, like in the past year or two. So I used to drink energy drinks a lot.
Like what was your main energy drink vice?
I had a few. So the ones that really stuck with me were Bang Energy.
Disgusting.
Bang Energy was my number one. I was like, Bang's cheap. It's like $2 at most places. At the job I was working at the time, there was a gas station right next to our building. I could just walk there and grab a Bang. And then I had like maybe one a day or like 3 or 4 a week. And then I started to feel like crap after drinking them. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I noticed like around the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, I'm like, I don't feel good drinking these. Mm-hmm. They don't really offer any health benefits, especially some big company like Bang or like Red Bull or Monster. I would switch between all those. Around 2022, around the time Lent started, mm-hmm. so around February, I decided to give it up.
Oh, wow.
And ever since then, I haven't drank that many.
So you just quit it kind of cold turkey?
Kind of cold turkey, yeah. I have an energy drink maybe like once or twice a year.
Wow.
Like the last energy drink I had was last weekend, and I think it was a Ghost energy drink.
Yeah.
Can I just say that compared to you two, like you all have some wild addictions to kick. Like Nen's out here taking in copious amounts of Coke. And Almighty over here is walking down to the gas station to get a Bang and a Monster. What's going on?
Wait. Why are you trying to act like you're some angel? You're literally used to be addicted to nicotine, bro. That was probably the worst.
I'm not banging any monsters. I'm not doing large amounts of Coke. Like, what's going on here, guys?
I am down to like maybe 1 or 2 a year. And I had my last energy drink last weekend, and it was one of the Ghost Orange Cream energy drinks. Delicious.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, Ghost makes an orange cream energy drink. It's delicious.
What is Ghost?
Ghost, isn't it like the pre-workout?
Ghost makes pre-workout and a bunch of other stuff, but they also make energy drinks.
Oh, wow.
Like other workout brands, like C4 makes energy drinks, Redcon makes energy drinks.
Yeah.
All these different brands make them.
These are some really aggressive names.
They really are. They had C4 energy drinks as samples at Costco, and me and my mom went. And me and my mom are out here just sipping them. They're like, ooh, they're bubbly. Tastes like strawberry lemonade. So me and my mom went around Costco, and we're sipping these little sample cups. And we're like, ooh, give us another one. Because they had like 4 flavors in the pack. And we're like, ooh, another one. Hit me, bro. Hit me another one. And then we're leaving Costco, and my mom goes, I don't feel that good. And we get home.
Yeah,
and
I remember
my mom
this.
does not intake like any artificial ingredients or like any of that stuff. And she's never had an energy drink in her life. And we get home, she goes, "Ooh, I need to sit down. I don't feel good." And then she like lays down, is so dizzy, does not feel good at all. I start to feel lightheaded. I'm like, I don't feel good. And then Armand comes over and I'm like, my mom had some energy drinks. And he's like, oh, he's like, yeah, it'll do that to you. And she's like, I don't feel good.
I asked what kind, and then you said C4, and I was like, yeah, that'll do that. My coffee addiction, which is like pretty bad in my opinion.
No, I don't think so anymore. I think
not
you've been able to
anymore,
cut
but
it.
early on it was bad. It was like 2-3 times a day.
Yeah.
And it would usually be in the morning, afternoon, at night. And then I realized that, hey, it's starting to stain my teeth.
Yeah.
My teeth are starting to get a little yellow, and I'm like, that's not good. And there's nights where I wouldn't be able to sleep because I would have coffee at like 8-9 p.m. And from that point, I said, you know what? I'm going to limit myself down to 2 cups a day. Limited myself to 2 cups a day. And then now I'm at a comfortable point where I teeter-totter between 1 a day or 2 a day.
Yeah, and I think just to kind of wrap it all up, an important message we have for you guys today is that it's really self-control. You have to tell yourself, enough is enough. I want to stop and I want better for myself. Whether you need professional assistance or if you can help yourself, that's completely up to you. But definitely recognize that it comes down to self-control. One challenge that I used to really enjoy giving my clients is before giving up your addiction, give up one thing that you really enjoy. For example, if you really enjoy reaching for that bag of chips every time you're bored, stop yourself from reaching for that bag of chips and instead eat an apple. And that simple switch and stopping your quote unquote addiction for that 1 week will show you how much self-control you actually have. So go ahead and challenge yourself. Do something that's not your main addiction, maybe like a sub addiction for you, whether it be chips every day or a chocolate bar once a day. Kick that out for a week and see how much self-control you have for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. That is all we have for you.
All right, everyone. Join us next time as Nen removes buildings from every major city skyline that does not spark joy.
Oh my God. The first city that I would probably do that to is probably New York.
New York, I was just going to say.
Yeah, there's just way too many.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how you remove these buildings.
With her hands.
With my hands. Hello.
She's going to pick it up.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next time on King Khan Nen.
All righty, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.